want to ask the question here. This is something that we need to talk about. So recently, Sideshow Collectibles has announced that they will not be attending San Diego Comic-Con. This is a somewhat of a change of the guard for them, right? Because uh historically they have gone to SDCC, and then this year they said, "Oh, no longer. We're not going anymore. We don't care." So they stopped going to New York Comic-Con. Right now, they've stopped going to San Diego Comic-Con, and Sideshow is doing their own sort of virtual con at the same time as SDCC, which really sucks with the timing of all this because, a lot of collectors like myself bought tickets for SDCC, and we really wanted to go to see Sideshow booth, and now they're not going. And they had to have known this long ago, and they just really had it announced after everyone already bought their tickets. But nonetheless, I want to ask the question, is the collecting industry suffering? Because to me, this is all speculation, right? But to me, this kind of very much smells like a very business financial move. This is like, it's not like they don't give a shit about Comic-Con, but Comic-Con has become so expensive. Especially, I've saw a lot of comments. Yost Jazz Inc. was saying what Comic-Con San Diego charges for one booth is remarkable. You would be surprised. So maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm wondering if the collecting industry is in a tough spot, and I'm starting to see lower editions on statues. Think about the things that Queen, maybe this is why InArt has been so quiet. Think about the amount that Queen Studios, the statue company that is around InArt, that they own InArt, right? So how many statues did they announce or release this year? Very few. Prime One has hardly announced or released that much this year besides remakes and reissues, right? You're not seeing a lot of statue companies making a lot here. And if they are, they're lower edition sizes. And you're also seeing Hot Toys go sold out more, like they're making less of them. And Sideshow's not attending cons anymore. So I'm just starting to wonder, is this like a sign of all these things? Like, is collecting really doing that well right now? And that's what I want to ask the question. Kiko, what do you think about this overall situation with Sideshow? And is this sort of telltale for a larger symptomatic issue here? What do you think?
You have to ride the ebbs and flows for sure. Is the collecting industry suffering? I think is a little bit of just a clicky bait headline, if you ask me, because I don't think
Love it.
it's suffering at all. People collect what they want to collect when they collect. So if situations change, they're like, well, I don't want to collect anymore. I mean, think about that. How many people come and go from the hobby? More people leave, some people come back. And that's just the way it is. It's just the cycles of things. People collected things since the dawn of time. Hunter-gatherers collected food to eat, things like that. Collecting has been around. It'll continue to be around. It's the priorities that people have to decide what means something to them. And businesses adapt to that. So if they naturally, and I think this is obvious, this is evident, people are looking at their bottom line and saying, geez, should I pay my car payment and my student loan, or should I buy a $5,000 statue? Most people are saying, I need to take care of my family. And I think businesses realize that, and they're saying, well, I don't want to go out of business, so let's just limit the number of things that we do, cut down our overhead. It's everywhere. It's a global issue of thus everyone is trying to figure out how to survive themselves, how to make money, but still live and have a good life. That's the perfect balance. If you can figure those things out to where you can take care of yourself, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all that stuff, and still be able to have some fun and all that, that's the game of life that you're trying to play and win. That's what it comes down to. Now, for this, you might not like this, Will.
What's up?
I could not care less whether they showed up at the conventions, honestly, because here's my thing. When I was at Celebration, I walked by and I wasn't blown away because mainly there was nothing I could take with me. Okay. It's not like you go to Mickey Mouse or go to Disney World, grab some Mickey Mouse ears, put them in your bag and go home. For me, I want to be able to take something with me. Even like the exclusives when they had the Chrome Troopers and all that. They're like, all right, here's a card for you to go on and put this QR code, get something later. It's kind of like the Jingle All the Way. No, it's a coupon to get a Turbo Man eventually. Everyone wanted Turbo Man. They didn't want the coupon. And so for me, the Sideshow cons, the Hasbro cons, all those things, I'll find it on Reddit. Do I want to see it in person? It was cool, I guess, seeing Ricka and Tick before they were announced. But think about how many things have been shown at these cons that never come to light. People use these as ammunitions to say, I hate these industries because they don't give me what I want. They teased it and they never came back. Maybe they're doing away with that because they're tired of showing samples that people get mad about. And maybe there's so many things that they're tweaking the 2099 Spider-Man. Can you imagine them bringing the 2099 Spider-Man for them to shit all over it in high definition? Maybe that's part of it too, is that their process of getting these statues and these figures to production quality, they don't have the time to put out a prototype to sit on there for you to nitpick it with your HD camera and be like, oh, I don't know if they got the tailoring right. The texture on that doesn't look good. Maybe they're just trying to avoid that. That's my personal thing. And like I said, I went to, and I know some people go to San Diego Comic-Con for the Sideshow booth. You said that in your video. That's not me. I didn't go to Celebration to see the Sideshow booth. I came to see the Mandalorian panel, to see the celebrities, to see Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's what I cared about. I didn't care about the collector. Because I'm a collector, I'll get the collectible when it comes out. So to me, that's me balancing my life. I'm still going to collect. I don't care how they're going to put it out there. I'm going to find what I want to collect eventually. So whether it's at a show, in person, or online, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's understandable. And so, and the reason I kind of bring it up too, Kiko, I want to share something real quick before I hop to Dean on this one. So, and Kiko, I know you saw this, and the reason I bring this up is because this is something that I find really interesting, and somewhat I found the results a little bit surprising, right? So again, one of the reasons I bring this up too, again, maybe this poll is not necessarily representative of everyone in the collecting population. However, if I'm asking the question, how many 1/6 scale figures do you purchase per year? That includes Hot Toys and art, everyone, right? So we have like what, 63% of collectors saying 1 to 7, 29% saying 1 to 3. So most collectors 4 to 7. I guess we never had like actual data to go off of previously, but that seems lower than I feel like it has been in previous years. And I don't know why that is exactly. Like there's other competing obligations that people have in life, but the numbers seem, I mean, I think most people would think these numbers would be higher. Like when you look at, so even 8 to 11, that's Hot Toys has released 25 things this year alone, and that's just Hot Toys, right? Like we're talking about third party, 3.0, everyone. This includes everything. So, if you're talking about like 75 to 80% of people collect 1 to 11, and 30% collect 1 to 3 per year, and think about the statue people who maybe collect statues too, like and there's people that are watching this channel and actively voting in a poll. So that's why I'm starting to wonder, like, if we're seeing all these things, and I'm like, I get what you're saying about the sort of clickbaity aspect of it, but I'm just like, I think it's a legitimate question as to, are these like sort of symptomatic issues that maybe collecting and just is not doing? Like Hot Toys has even lowered their prices, which seems weird because we're all confused by it, right? Because for a while Hot Toys was like going up and up and up, and we're like, oh, these prices, and then Hot Toys was like, oh, we're going to bring it back down, probably because people weren't buying as much, and they were like, we have to lower them, which again tells me like people aren't buying as much, especially as they were during COVID. And I even talked to, Queen Studios and other places where they were like, yeah, I think everyone in the collecting industry got a little overzealous when COVID happened, and we thought this would be the norm because
Right.
people were
Yeah.
home and they were buying things, and then and then the world got back to normal, and then everyone stopped collecting. So that happened with baseball cards too. Like Target, you couldn't go into a Target and find any baseball cards for months because people were buying them like crazy because they were bored as fuck. So that's why I think it's really interesting, bro. You know what I mean? Like I think it's
So
like,
I,
and
I would
people
love to
pointed out
see
like
the. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
like you're seeing like less from XM, from Prime One, from J&D, from Queen. All these companies are like releasing something every now and then, but not much. It's pretty barren. You know what I mean?
I would just like go across. I think it was a perfect storm, and Dean, I'll let you jump in here. I think it was a perfect storm of the hype of the MCU, Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, mixed with the pandemic. People wanted that, broke everything. The Iron Man Mark 50 broke everything, because think about that. That is the figure that broke everything. When everyone's like, I need Iron Man. And then they're like, oh, okay, you want Iron Man? Here you go. They released 2 Iron Men this week for sale. I mean, he's here. He's not going anywhere. But I would be interested to know kind of what it looked like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Well, how many releases were they doing then? And maybe they're just trying to scale it back to get back to, pre-pandemic. I even hate that term, pre-pandemic world, because we're never going back to the way it was, things like that. And I wonder what it was like, because we're on what, MMS 600 now, or 6 something. We've had a lot of releases or reveals, or what do you want to call it, over the past 3.5 years. I would say that a majority of those, and Hot Toys has been around for what, 20 years or whatever. Think about how much
Yeah,
they
it's been a
used to
while.
release compared to now. And will that get scaled back to back when they were profitable? I don't know. Just thinking out loud.
Yeah. Sorry, Dean. I had you wait so long here. Dean, hop in on this one. What do you think? Is the industry suffering in your eyes?
I don't know if it's an industry thing or just a Sideshow thing. Sideshow used to do, because they were like, oh, we're not going to Comic-Con this year. We're going to do an online thing. They've done that before, and they've done it alongside being, I don't know if you remember, what was her name?
Susan.
Susan. I just forgot it. Sorry, Susan, if you're out there.
Yeah.
She used to do all the online stuff while they were at the cons. So it's like,
yep.
Is Sideshow hurting that bad for money that they're just like, fuck it, let's not even bother going to the cons? Like, are the people not pre-ordering enough? Like you said, they haven't really put out any statues all that much. Yeah, I don't know. It's just very weird that it's like you're not like breaking any ground here. You're almost stepping backwards, because there are some people out there that only know what Sideshow is because they stumbled across them at a con.
Right.
So it's like that's a lot of potential customers, because new people are going to cons every year. People that are now old enough, or even, their first memories might be at a con. And it's like, those are all potential customers. You're talking about hundreds of, I don't know how many people go to San Diego. 100,000 maybe?
Bro. It's thousands. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. So it's like, it's such a bizarre thing to not be there. But also, like Kiko said, like, you're not buying anything from them. So they're there only to make money after the fact. So yeah, it's just weird. Maybe if they set up a store, they might do better. I don't know. But people sell shit at cons, so I don't see what Sideshow wouldn't. So especially SDCC, that's weird, bro. They're down the street. They're right. Literally down the street. It'd be one thing if it was some Comic-Con like on the other side of the country. They're down the road. It's such a weird business choice. I honestly don't get it, but I guess it is what it is. I'm not going, so I don't really have any skin in the game. But Will, it's your first year going, and they're not going to be there. Like, that kind of sucks.
Right. And there'll be other booths. Like, I know Queen will be there, but how much are they really going to bring? And Iron Studios, I think, and some other companies. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Sideshow was going to be a big part of the process, but like Kiko said, there'll still be celebrities and stuff, panels and stuff like that I can go to. So I'll still get excited to go to that. But right.
But
and I know Jeff's asking, will this Sideshow Con be free? Yes, it will. You register. So, but again, to the point, remember, and again, no one's entitled to anything, and we're not going to pretend as such. But they used to give out rewards for registering for all of these cons, and now they don't. And also, let's also note, Dean, let's also note how much tighter they've become with promo codes. Like, they'll still give you promo codes, but half the time you can't use it on pre-order stuff. You can only use it on certain things. Like, they've become a lot tighter with that.
Man,
exactly.
I remember, man, even like 4 years ago, I got so many rewards. I think whenever episode 3 Obi-Wan came out, I essentially paid like $60 for that figure.
Right.
Because I got so many reward points on the what was the Spooktober or whatever the hell it was called. And then they had the Thanksgiving, and then all the Christmas rewards came out. It's like they were giving them out like fucking candy, but the community got really good at those code groups, and kind of
farming for codes.
Yeah, it's like, here's the code, everybody. And sometimes so many people were trying to put in the code that the website wouldn't even load. So I think we've ruined that. But yeah, it is kind of weird. I don't even remember the last time I saw a code like, here you guys go. And I'll just get like a coupon in my email every once in a while.
All I
Like
got was
50
an opportunity to register to not get the exclusive Iron Man.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. It's like, oh, sign up for SideshowCon, we'll give you 10% off, but it's like 10% is not even shipping, so it's not like it used to be. It's weird.
Right. Yeah, it's just such an interesting time, guys. I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I don't know. I'm just interested to see what's going to happen with the future of this. But guys, let us know in the comments below what you're thinking about the collecting industry and, where things are going to go. I don't know. I don't know. I'm interested to see. I'm disappointed, but I guess we're going to see. But guys, I want to ask the question here, and we have one more topic I think that we have time for.